Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, hello and grüezi from Switzerland. A warm welcome to all of you around the globe. I'm very happy to welcome participants from over 40 countries to this first virtual event from the event series Jansen Perspectives. Today, we'll look through the telescope onto the topic of safety and security. Freedom needs safety and security, but which kind of safety and security and how much do we need? This is something we will focus on today. We will probably not be able to give a definite answer to these questions, but I can promise you that you will receive a lot of differentiated and exciting insights into security and safety in a modern world with modern buildings. So what is waiting for you today? After an interview with Christian Bartholet, Kai-Uwe Bergmann from the Berke Ingels Group will give us an insight into the perspective of architects and designers. Afterwards, Sonja Oesch is going to dwell on the perspectives of metal workers and system suppliers with a focus on wind, water, air, fire protection and burglar resistance. And then you can focus on that even more in the breakout sessions where 3 projects from Spain, the Netherlands and Turkey will be presented. And after the break, or during the break, you can meet and greet other participants. And after the break, George Rose will take us onto a journey into the future. Afterwards, we will have a panel discussion with Christoph Jansen, George Rose and Carlos Martinez, and they will discuss aspects of safety and security even more in a modern world with modern buildings. And Christian Bartholet will in the end present the news from Jansen. Allow me now to tell you that you, ladies and gentlemen, are required too. We need your participation. Throughout the event, we will have several polls where you can vote. And I will explain to you later how that works. And in our breakout sessions, you can participate in discussions and ask your questions. And as I said before, during the break, we'll have a networking area where you can meet and greet other people. And please join in now already. Please use your mobile phone now and take a selfie. And send this selfie to events@jansen.com. Because we would like to capture as many impressions as possible from this event, from your homes, from your offices. And at the end of today's event, we will show you all the images that we received, so a virtual group picture, so to speak. Enjoy today's event, ladies and gentlemen. Christian Bartholet is here with me now. He's a member of the management team at Jansen, responsible for sales and marketing at the company. A warm welcome to you. Hello, Isabel. Christian, this kind of event, virtual events, are something new for Jansen too. So why did you decide to have such a format? Well, definitely, it is uncharted territory for us, Isabel. And I'm very happy to have you here today and that we can start this event series today. And this event series is called Jansen Perspectives. And by the term telescope, we mean that we want to focus on one topic for each event. And our topic today is security. And why did we choose that format and that topic? Well, I think the last couple of months boosted digitalization also at Jansen. I think all of us have learned to participate in digital virtual meetings, and we have been unable to meet us physically. Our dinners were cancelled, trainings couldn't take place, we have been unable to travel. And we tried also to take advantages of the opportunities that digitalization poses, and we developed a new format in order to get in touch with our targets groups on an international level. And you mentioned that we have people here from over 40 countries, and this is exactly what we want to see, to have our metal workers, sales partners, designers, architects. We want to reach all of them, communicate with them, enter into an exchange with them. And this is why we have come up with this format. And as I said before, and I mentioned the coronavirus pandemic before, of course, we are compliant with all safety standards at this event because, of course, we focus on safety and security at all times. Yes, Christian, I totally agree. So we've heard before that we are going to specialize and focus on safety and security, but what does that mean for you? Well, for me, this is a condition free of risks and dangers and hazards. And for me personally, well, security always has something to do with freedom or freedoms. And I think this is also something that we've all experienced throughout the last months. Only when we feel free can we do what we actually want to do. And I think it's also a feeling that we have been familiar with from our childhood. Feel safe, feel comfortable. And this has something to do with where we live, where we stay, in our own apartment, in a rented apartment, or when we hopefully soon be able to travel again at train stations or airports, but also where we work, in office buildings, where we do shopping, when we work out, or when we go to a museum. These are commercial spaces and commercial buildings. And this is where Jansen comes into play and steel comes into play. Then it's all about safety, security, fire protection, external impacts from wind, water and air, all the way to hurricanes, depending on the region, of course. And also external impacts or effects such as fire protection and burglar protection. And steel offers many benefits, and Jansen systems are really practical solutions that can be used for all these areas of application. And you said that Jansen is closely linked to the term to the term security and safety. Has that always been the case? Well, I think this really has to do with Jansen's DNA. Jansen used to be a steel manufacturing company, and steel, as we all know, has many benefits for aspects of security. And steel and steel pipes have always been a business segment, and we have always used the strength and benefits that steel offers. But speaking about Jansen as a company, I think that security has a different meaning too. I think that we are a company that wants to offer safety and security to partners and the target groups by providing reliability. We are a third-generation company, so that means that we think and act sustainably and in the long term. And I think it's very important that we offer reliability to our partners and our target groups. And especially for the projects and objects that focus on security and that are long-term projects, it's important to have a partner that is not there for you just today, but also tomorrow. So, thank you. Let me come back to steel. For me, steel is something very solid. I'm not an expert in this, but security does not really sound like something aesthetic to me. Does steel have other advantages too? Well, I can imagine that when you're not an expert in this field, you always think of something big when you think of steel. But no, it's actually exactly the opposite. When we use steel for windows or doors, when we speak about steel in this context, then steel is not only an ideal material in terms of safety and security, but it is actually also an ideal material to realize the ideas, the visions, and the dreams of the architects. because after all, steel has very strong static properties. But at the same time, it allows you to realize large-scale projects and dreams. And in terms of processing and the forms and form giving, you can do many great things with steel. For example, when you want to refurbish historical buildings or for arched and curved structures, steel can be processed in many different ways. And thanks to its static properties, the profiles, steel profiles, are very narrow and very subtle in a way. And therefore, it's a design element that is very popular with architects. And so I think this is certainly going to be a topic for our next event. So Jansen is a 3-generation company. It is a family business, as you said before. You are located in the Rhine-Tarn Valley in Switzerland, but at the same time, you are a global company. Why is the Rhine-Tarn Valley so unique? Well, people from around the world might not know the Rhine-Tarn Valley, but this valley is kind of an industrial valley in Switzerland. Jansen comes from Oberried, and this is the very origin of Jansen. This is where Jansen was born and founded. This is our home. This is where we manufacture, where we develop, where we think and ponder about the future, where we do our testings, as we just saw in the intro video, in our test lab. This is where all our logistics takes place, all the components that come into play when we develop the systems that we offer. And I think this is where we will continue to manufacture most of our products also in the future. Well, that's good to hear, because in preparing for today's event, I could see your campus, and that was very impressive indeed. Thank you very much, Christian, for this introduction, and I'm very happy to welcome you back to the studio at the end of the event. Thank you.